Okay, how's everyone doing today? Got another knife review for you. In what's kind of turned out to be my BHK series, I guess, my Blind Horse Knives series. Yes, I own other knives other than Blind Horse. In case you're wondering. Simple sheath, which I'll get into in a bit. Just a typical pouch style, though. Make sure I'm still in frame here with my stump top. All right. So here she is, the Cavallo. Really nice knife. Polished fisheye bolts, brass and stainless. A2. See the steel code there, maybe. A for A2 tool steel. Really nice knife. Very subtle clip point, I suppose. Not a fan of clip points at all, but this was subtle enough. And I'll have to tell you my major motivation for getting this blade, and that's a little bit of the knife nut collector in me, would be these handles. Let me pick you up actually and bring you over to some sunlight to really appreciate these handles. Just bear with me here, guys. This is what's known as Banksia pod. Banksia pod, I'll have that spelt in the description. It's a seed pod or a fruit pod. Can't remember exactly which, from a tree that's found in Africa, I'm pretty sure. But that's what it's called, Banksia pod. Trying to hold this, there we go. It is gorgeous. And I could not resist. Toxic green liners. Polished A2 on the handle and spine. But I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure many of you will agree. Especially in the sunlight, she just shines. And I love that green. Absolutely phenomenal. Alright, let's get you back over. Okay. So we'll do a little bit of a test on this. I actually custom knife, obviously, every once in a while, a couple times a year, usually at least once or twice. Blind Horse will have what's called a virtual knife show, where they'll have a whole bunch of different offerings up, and usually, if you're lucky enough, they'll have a handful of extreme customs, I'm calling them, because there'll be some wacky handle material or maybe a special blade steel. This is just A2, which is a great steel. This knife came, it's basically a flat grind. It has a bit of a mark here where they were, it went over a little bit, but this is basically a full flat grind knife. It came with a secondary convex, which for my needs and uses was pretty useless. This would make an awesome skinning knife as it came, but I'm not a fan of a secondary convex. So I put this on my land ski, and as usual, gave it the old 20-degree per side edge angle, and she performs very well right now. I wouldn't baton with this knife normally at all. Softwood maybe if I had to, and it was small. I just happen to have a little piece of maple, so I mean we'll go straight to the limits. And no problem. Smaller stuff, I wouldn't have an issue with it. The blade's not big enough for and I'll have the description for the size and all that. Or the specs for the blade in the description, rather. But, I'm just taking it kind of easy on my hits there. No problem, though. I mean, it does not have an issue with batoning the smaller stuff. But let's do some feather sticking. Small tasks is what I would recommend this knife for. got a thin blade, 3mm. And like I said, since I changed the edge angle to 20 degrees per side, it really performs well. Really performs well. It's edge holding. Now, this could just be this particular batch. From what I understand, it's all very, the heat treat's very important, things like that. I'm by no means any kind of an expert when it comes to talking about steels and edge retention and that. I know what I see, what I use myself. This particular A2, for instance, my Bravo 1's A2, and it holds a great edge. This A2 doesn't hold a shaving sharp edge very long at all. A little surprising. It still holds most of the edge well, but I have knives that stay shaving sharp when put through more than this does. So like I said, that could have just been this particular heat treat batch, because normally A2 does a better job at holding an edge. But it's still not bad, but the shaving sharp goes pretty quick on this. And that's pretty much the only negative I would have to say about it. Anyways, you saw that. Good little bit of feather sticking there. Do some quick feather sticking on some hardwood. I lost my son, so hopefully, not my child, the sunlight. So hopefully you guys can still see this all right. I'm just going to take a little peek behind the curtain, as it were. All right, we're good still. And now I'm just realizing that I am Canadian, so I'm just realizing that, and it's not funny, if anyone's lost a child, my God, I'm going to apologize for that joke. I didn't mean to be insensitive. Hopefully that's not the case with anyone out there, but you never know. So, yeah. The Canadian asks for forgiveness for that bad joke. That's what we do best, isn't it, Dennis? Apologize. Oh, man. All right, so no problem. Let's move on to some little bit of notching. Doesn't have a problem with that, especially not in the softwood. I mean, really, you put a good edge on a steak knife and you're going to get a decent notch at a softwood. At least definitely at a cedar. So, you know, that took all of 2 seconds. Let's do a quick notch on the hardwood here. Not the best piece to do it. Hold that at a bit of an angle to get what I want. You can see it does a good job there too with hardwood. So, and then shavings, you know, obviously not a problem. This, with, like I said, with this edge angle on it now, it wants to bite very well. It does very well. Just a straight out bite. This is, of course, the cedar. This is softwood. Won't bite as hard into the hardwood, but that's still doing a good job for hardwood, in my opinion. And just some shavings with the hardwood. Also doing a very good job. So yeah, there's just a quick little bit. Really comfortable handle. It's got a bit of a swell. It tapers a little bit near the top, near the towards the blade, and again, just a little bit of a swell here. But it also has a minor indentation here. So, you know, it goes narrow, then swells out, then goes narrow again right here, and then swells back out. This little bit here is just perfect to get the pinky around. It just fits in there nice. It's almost a molded grip to it. So a really comfortable blade. I've used this one in chest lever actually. You know, it's equally as comfortable. There's no real difference. You know, there's no substantial hot spots, nothing that's, you know, that stands out. This is a good blade for choking up on. It's a good size. You know, I spoke of that with my with the Buckman video I did. You know, it fits comfortably. The blade length isn't too substantial where you can't do some fine carving with that. So, very good. And I'll just grab the sheath and give you guys a bit of a closer look. Alright. If you're wondering what that is there, that's the BHK, or the Blind Horse Knives Underground, which is sort of members, knife users, knife owners for BHK. Anyone who owns a knife, you can, you know, join up. It's kind of like a club membership, and they make some special offerings when it comes to the virtual knife show. If you're a member of the Underground, that's actually how I got this knife. They made it available to Underground members, and you know, I really like their knives. $25 a year for the membership. I figured, what the hell. As you can see, like I said, that Banksia Pod Toxic Green liner, which it really kind of matches up with this well, I think. Came with this this box lanyard set up. Just spin that around. There's the symbol. Blind Horse. There's the steel code for A2. And then the sheath is a, it's not a dangler, but it's a swivel. You know, this part here will swivel up, and then it's just, of course, a belt at that point. I have it set up for a neck carry, as you can see with the paracord here. You got a little lanyard hole there, as well as one at the base. Good thick stitching. Holds the knife with the same leather that they use for all of their sheaths. And like I said, it sits in it really well. I'll probably do a wet form on this, because this type of leather, it's a thinner leather, takes to wet forming very well and molds to the handle and blade nicely and get a bit more retention out of it, but it's got good retention as it is. Well, there you go. So it holds in pretty well, especially for neck carry. It doesn't have to be too crazy, but I'll wet form that one as well anyway. So I hope you like this, and again, as always, any questions, anything you want to see, don't hesitate to ask. And hope you enjoyed. Take care. Be well.